the Sci-Fi Invasion. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. The movie I watched today was called They Come From Beyond Space from 1967. Going into this one, I really didn't know what to expect, like a lot of these movies, but there was something interesting about my viewing experience that compelled me to look into this movie a little bit more. And I was interested. I found it interesting that it's based on a book called The Gods Hate Kansas. But it also falls in line with a lot of similar stories of the time, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or The Puppets Masters. Stuff like that. It's very much that kind of thing, but instead of it being like, a pod that's making clones of people, or in the case of the Puppet Masters, there's a thing on the back of their neck controlling them. They're being controlled by rocks. Like, these meteors fall to Earth and they're controlled, they're controlling a group of scientists. And it's really funny because part of the way they're controlling the scientists, they're using the scientists to pull loans to fund a spaceship program, and it only costs $1 million to make all this like futuristic sci-fi stuff that can go to the moon and back without being detected. And it's kind of corny, but in a really fun way. There's a character in the movie who's our main character, and he's not allowed to investigate the meteorites because he's got a metal plate in his head from the war. And for some reason that makes him a risk to just go to a farm and look at some rocks. I didn't quite get that, but that's the reason why he's not allowed to go. But in his place, his wife goes, and she gets turned into one of the alien people who tries to pull loans so they can fund a space project. But it later comes out in the film that he is immune to their mind control due to the plate in his head, and he starts a little resistance. There's also a subplot about a plague that's killing people that was created by the aliens, but it's later revealed that they're not killing people, just putting them in hibernation so they can use their bodies. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fun things going on. I don't think it all really works once you get to the end of the film, because at the end of this is spoilers, but the ending of the movie, it's revealed that the aliens just aren't that bad. They've just ascended to a higher plane of existence where they're just pure consciousness, no physical body. But the downside is they can never, they can't really die. They have no meaning anymore. So they just want to die on their home planet, and they're going to use our bodies to get there. And it's revealed at the end of the movie, like a very Star Trek. It's like, well, you should have just asked. We would have helped you, and I don't really think that works because there's so much like shady stuff that these aliens do that I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them up to that point. It's a little too optimistic near the end, and it kind of ruins the movie in a way, because I almost want them to be evil at that point. Oh, and then the character the actor playing the leader of the aliens, he's called the Master of the Moon. It's the butler. It's Alfred from the Tim Burton Batman movies, and it's always a joy to see him and stuff. I usually see him in Hammer things, so it was nice to see him just in the wild. I was like, oh yeah, I like that actor. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I'm actually interested in reading the original short story, The Gods Hate Kansas, and I found it to be a very enjoyable piece. It was one of the more, I would call it a highlight of this particular box set. I enjoyed about near every minute of it. It didn't overstay its welcome. The mystery was intriguing enough to keep me going and not looking at my phone the whole time, with the exception of the part where I was like, this is interesting, what's this about? And then I looked into it, but I quickly put my phone down to keep watching. I believe there is a version of this movie floating around with a better picture quality. I would have rather have seen that, but the whole point of this program is to watch what's in here instead. That's why I haven't watched that's why I didn't watch The Wasp Woman, which is one of my favorite movies, on my Blu-ray. I watched this particular version of it. And going off of this was fine. I think if I were to ever watch it again, I'd probably seek out the higher definition version, or at least a version with a better print. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. We're getting really close to the end here. This is the second to last disc, and it was a good way to start this disc. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. Remember, please be kind and rewind.